I hit up a couple people. This is a thing that I feel very strongly about, that I think is really important, and it enriches.
We're digging right in. Let's do it.
It enriches your life. I think that if you have people in your life that you have not talked to in a long time, it's very important to just drop them a line out of nowhere. Be like, hey, I was thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. Or I was thinking about you. What are you up to? You know?
Right.
That way, you know, I hope you've been well is not necessarily inviting a conversation. If you just want to put the good vibes out there, but you don't have time to like chat, that's an option. Then also, what have you been up to? It does rekindle a little conversation. You know, I think that then it lets people know, hey, doors open. I'm here right now to listen, chat, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was doing this with a friend, and she told me about a date that she went on. This is years ago, and we just got to talking, and she told me that she went on a date with this guy, and it was one of those things where it was like a date that was set up after a meet at a bar. Okay. So they meet at the bar, and like, you know, it's loud, it's dark. It's like all of the recipes for a person to not come off like a monster unless they're an absolute monster.
Right. Yeah.
Like all the work is being done for you right now. It's hard to hear you. It's hard to see you. Like if you're
getting away with a lot right now.
Yeah. If your jarring personality flaws still shine through, then you are a true monster.
Yeah. Yeah, your terrible flaws are brighter than any light.
Yeah, you are dull. And so they get to talking. She's like, okay, he's got like, I don't know, it's a little something about him. And you know, he was looking a little nerdy, but she was like, it was in a cute way, not like a extra dweeby way or anything. And so she was like, okay, let me see what's up. And so he ends up asking her out. And so she's like, yeah, all right, sounds great. Let's meet up, you know, in a couple days. They set the date for a couple days from when they met. And
his face still looked shadowy.
Yeah,
like he still looks like he's in the dark.
My man just walks around with shadow constantly on his face. He got extra shadow. He's out here trying to be suave, really just being a demogorgon, you know. It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Yeah, just awful. Otherworldly, one could say.
Yeah, I rebuke you is what I would say if I saw him in person.
I rebuke you.
If
next date, I'm bringing an old priest and a young priest.
If I saw a man with mostly shadow on his well-lit face, I would slap him with an open Bible. And so basically what ends up happening is they meet up, and he, you know, it's at this like Chinese restaurant, and you know, he's like still a little nerdy, still a little like quiet and everything. And now she's like, oh, okay, maybe I was a little tipsy and he's more awkward than I remember. Like maybe I was giving him the benefit of the doubt because I was a little drunk, which of course you were.
Yeah.
Of like, I feel like that's a
happens
given
to all of us, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically he's like looking down a lot, and then he'll look up at her really quick, but then lose the courage to keep eye contact. And she was like, it was almost adorable. It was happening a lot to the point where it was like, I can see how some people wouldn't find it cute.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're at the table with me. You're not looking across a room now. Like,
yeah.
Now you're looking at me and then looking at the tablecloth. It's like, oof.
Or then you look down, you're like, damn, he has really cool shoes on. He just keeps looking at him. He's like, these are great.
Yeah. And so he starts asking her, you know, questions about herself, her life and everything. Mm-hmm. She tells him where she works and what she does for a living. And then she starts to reciprocate asking those questions to him. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm really focusing on my art right now and everything. So I'm in between jobs and stuff. and she wishes. And and I'm living with some friends at the moment. Just getting back on my feet and everything. Like
Yeah.
I make a little money doing odd jobs and with my art, and so I'm good. I'm like living. And she was actually taken aback and impressed by how content he seemed. Like, these are things that when someone answers, sometimes there's a little bit of shame involved. There's a little bit of like, oh yeah, I'm doing my thing. I'm like, it's like, it was none of that. He was just like, yeah, I do my art. And it was actually the most confident the entire dinner that she had seen him was like, I do my art, and I'm putting things together and everything until I can have a come up and stuff. And she was like, oh, okay, wow, all right, that's really cool. And she finally asked him what his art was. This is like appetizers have come now, so they're like starting to kind of eat. But then she realizes she never actually asked him, and she was like, "What's your art, by the way?" And he smiles. And at first, it's like she said at first it was like a little smile. And then he couldn't help it. You could just see this like beaming smile burst through, which he also said was like very adorable when someone's just uncontrollably happy,
Right. Yeah.
And he was like, well, I'd love to show you. And she was like,
immediate alarm bells. Even if it's like, I made this movie and it's a big, beautiful movie, it's still just like when the response is, I could show you, is troubling.
Yeah. He's
troubling
like,
to say the least.
I'd love to show you. And she was like, oh, okay. Like, is it? And she's still thinking he's a painter, right? And she just assumed painter, because a lot of people, when you say your art, they assume
artist.
Paint.
Yeah. They just assume, because that's what artist meant for a long time.
For a very long time.
But a bunch of other shit hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah. And so then she's like, oh wow, did you bring it here? He's like, I bring it everywhere with me. And, and she's like, okay, what is it? And he's like, I have to show you. And he gets up, he walks, he leaves, right? And she's like a little bit taken aback, because now she's like, oh, okay. Like, I thought she was even saying she thought he meant, I have to show you like later at my place or something.
Right. Yeah.
And so she's sitting there. Like,
so he left the table.
Left the table.
Okay.
My man's gone.
I got my guesses, but
and she's like munching on a crab rangoon when this dude sits back down.
Okay.
With a dummy in his lap.
Oh, it's better than I would have guessed. Oh, yes. Yes. Fuck yes. Oh, what'd that dummy say? What that?
with a dummy in his lap going. Okay, wait. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can. Go ahead. Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's like not good ventriloquism.
And not only is it not good, but this man's mouth can't stop moving.
Oh.
So instead of it being bad mumbled like ventriloquism, it's just him talking in a different voice while he doesn't make eye contact.
Oh, that's his art.
So he just looking down. He's just looking down the way he was when he was trying to be coy. And so he's looking down.
So you don't see his mouth.
So you don't see his mouth. Because if he tilts his head all the way down, it's like, where'd his mouth go?
Oh, I was not thinking ventriloquist. I'm so fucking happy. I was not thinking ventriloquist. Oh, boy.
It's so bad.
Where you're like, here, join our thruple.
He's so bad at it, and it's fully his mouth could not be more open. It's actually like someone taught him the opposite of what ventriloquism is. His mouth is so open.
Or they just explained it to him conceptually, but no one showed him how to do it. They're like, yeah, but you make like the doll talk too. Got it. See you later. No, there's more. There's more.
When I tell you that she told me that his mouth went, not so little.
For the listener, Josh moved his whole mouth.
You could see all my teeth the way I moved my mouth just now.
You stuck your tongue out. That's how.
This dude is licking his lips bad at ventriloquism. He will never have a chapped lip while doing ventriloquism.
He's lip licking bad at ventriloquism.
This man will never need chapstick. He is so bad at ventriloquism. And so then she.
You keep going.
So then she's sitting there and she's like, oh. And she just says, oh. Like, oh, okay. Still trying to be polite, right? And then he is steadily, just like, so Mark told me a lot about you. And she's like,
he let the fucking doll take over the day.
Hard.
Ooh.
The
title of this episode is going to be Logan's favorite thing ever. Oh man.
So Mark told me a lot about you. And just prepare yourself because it gets worse.
I'm so excited.
So then she's like, so Mark told me a lot about you.
The fucking voice, Josh.
He said that you were a beautiful woman. And he lied.
He's roasting it.
You are an incredibly beautiful woman.
Oh, okay. I was hoping it was going to turn to like the roast act with the ventriloquist to me.
So then he's like, what do you do for a living? And just starts asking her all the questions that she just answered to him through the dummy.
Oh, he's like making her redo the date, but with the dummy.
She's just redoing the date to the dummy.
Oh, no, don't do that.
And so now she's like, I grew up at like, just like slowly giving him details like, oh, that's interesting. How are you liking your appetizer?
That's when you have to look at the guy and be like, I know he's not real. Like you can.
and then he goes,
God.
He goes, yeah, Mark's kind of quiet around beautiful women. Say something. He goes, wait, don't make me laugh. Wait, shut up. Wait. Okay, Mark gets nervous around beautiful women. Say something, dummy. And then he's like, sometimes I don't know what to say.
Yes. Yes.
And then as he gets the doll to talk, this is how bad, just so we can also for the listener once again illustrate how bad this person is at ventriloquism. Right. Yeah. When the dummy goes to speak again, the dude controlling him, Mark's gum falls out of his mouth.
feel like that should be a pretty common. Like, don't chew something while you're doing ventriloquism.
I mean, when you're not doing it well, you can do whatever you want. And so then,
Oh my God.
and so then, one of the servers walks up to check on them, like, how they're liking their appetizer and everything, sees the dummy and goes, "What is this?" And so he turns to the server and it's like,
Get the fuck out of here. I'm on a date.
Goes, "Just two lovely people and a bonehead on a date. Guess who's the bonehead?"
Oh, yeah. It's so old timey. I love it.
And then the server's like, "Oh, wow." He just says, "Wow," and walks away. And she said that so then their food comes, right? So appetizers, but then the actual entree comes, and he doesn't put the dummy away. So he starts talking to her again.
We also brushed past the fact that he stashed this in the restaurant somewhere. We are totally blowing past the fact that he said, "I'll show you," what just went somewhere. Assuming his car wasn't outside. I guess I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was at coat check. Maybe.
But like, if he brought the dummy prepared for that reveal already, way too much.
Yeah. Already a killer.
Wow.
So then they're eating, and he straight up is eating and has sat the dummy, because it was one of those 4-seat tables. And so he just sat the dummy in one of the chairs. So the dummy just sitting up while they eat.
Just staring at her chew with its lifeless eyes.
Just staring at her chest. Of no fault of his own. That's just where he was positioned.
I'm only comfortable ogling women with my dummy.
And then she said she can tell that the staff is like straight up watching them now. Like coming out of the kitchen to peek and walk back in.
Your friend is a fucking trooper, by the way.
And
The fact that he didn't sit down with the dummy and she didn't go nope and just walk out. It shows a lot of her character.
And so then when they start to like get close to finishing the entree, the server walks back up and is like, "Hey, we were wondering, like, do you do like shows everywhere? Like, just like starts like actually just engaging, like, do you do shows everywhere?" And like what do you know? And he excitedly grabs the dummy. And just starts talking to the server like all over again. And so then the server's like, "Can you show the guys in the kitchen?"
And he doesn't realize that they're making fun of him.
He doesn't at all.
Does not at all. Because 100% they're like, "Hey, you got to get him to come back here. I gotta see this.
Come back here." And so then he was like, "Yeah, I'll do my thing and everything." And and the dummy is like, "We love to." And she said what had to be most of the staff walked out of the kitchen and just stood at the table.
Oh no!
Just watching this man do the worst act and they're dying laughing. So it's like he thinks he's killing, and maybe
they're
he
laughing,
is. Who knows?
maybe,
Because some
but-
of them, like, to be fair, some of them did not speak English. So I think some of them were just fully into the fact that a person was doing ventriloquism while only moving their mouth. I think no matter what language you speak,
Right.
that is going to be universally funny.
Yeah. Being bad at ventriloquism transcends language. You can tell when it's going wrong.
Because I don't even know what jokes, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I don't even know what jokes he was doing or anything. It's just straight up the fact that he's this bad. It's like remarkable. And she was like, I was just like, like she said she was just like melting in her seat. And it's not like no one was like looking at her or anything. Everyone was focused on him, but she was like,
well, listen, earlier they were all looking at her.
yeah, that's fair.
when the dummy first came out, everyone was looking at her just being like, oh, does she know about this? Does she like this? She does not. She does not know or like about this.
I mean, she probably looked like she was down with it when they started eating, because then
yeah, no, they're like, oh, they must be together then.
Yeah.
Because she's fine. She's fine with the dummy. Just sitting there eating with that. Oh, you've made me so happy today, Josh. I was already having a pretty good day, and it got real good.
And then basically so she's like melting in her seat because she said that there's no way that they're like I remember her saying this of like how there was no way eventually that food was being cooked. Like too many of them were watching them. Because it's like a small restaurant, you know?
Right.
And
they hadn't gotten their food yet? Or no, they did what they were eating.
They ate.
But other people in the restaurant now.
Other people are just waiting. They're like, hey, yo,
are now sitting there pissed at this shitty ventriloquist.
That's just like, I would have loved to try the food. Unfortunately, I have a sensitive stomach.
Just imagine that Yelp review. Like, I went there on a date to have a meal, and we could not get served because some ventriloquist, the whole staff was gawking at a dummy who could not enunciate. 1 star, will not go back.
The food was great, but the show was terrible.
The ventriloquist act was all vowels. 1 star.
All vowels and spit.
That must violate some sort of code. I don't know. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I keep going back to like the moment before. Like, did he show up with like a big fucking suitcase? Like before the date was like, hey, can I stash this back here?
Can I put my roller bag here real quick?
Oh, did he ever try to like drink water while doing the ventriloquism? But like he's not good at it, so he started drinking. It's like, would you? Oh man. Fuck me. That is so goddamn funny.
Man. But yeah, they didn't go on a second date.
Oh, really? Oh, darn it. I was really rooting for them. Because here's the thing. Even if he was really good at ventriloquism, it'd still be shaky whether he was getting that second date. You know?
I don't care if your art is music and if you're at a restaurant, you don't just pull out a guitar
This is a great point.
and start playing songs, like start serenading.
Well, yeah, because I was already thinking about like, okay, even just thinking of it in terms of comedians I've known who just like will start like making people listen to their comedy, especially when they're like new at it, or whatever. On a date, they'll be like, well, here's, and then they just start laying out material. Already that is like weird. It's at least a conversation, so you can do it. But like, when you got to go get a thing. Because even if he was a painter, if he just started painting there, you'd be like, okay, you brought all that?
Imagine if you just started painting on the wall with like watercolors you brought.
I think this is technically vandalism. I don't.
In case someone asked you, what's your art? I have to show you. And then you just start painting lilies on a restaurant wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you don't have an unsettling art, if you just start doing it, it still throws you off.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, but now I'm now imagining if he brought a guitar out and then he was a really bad guitarist.
It was just,
let me show you.
Like, let me show you the ways that I love. It was just like a guttural, like she was like,
look at this photograph.
You know what it was too that I think really messed him up is that his mouth was open, but he was trying to not move it. That actually makes sense now that would be the voice you'd make if you didn't close your mouth to do real ventriloquism, but you opened it, but you're like, like
having it wide open. Yeah, that's not the move. That's why a lot of them smile so they can like just do it through their teeth.
If you've ever been to the dentist, you've just done an impression of this dummy. That's essentially what it sounded like. Your dentist asks you a question and you're like, that is what the dummy. She said it was like she said that she said some of the words were so garbled she wasn't sure what the joke was. Like,
I also love that it sounds like he was doing the oldest of ventriloquist shtick too.
Yeah.
Like that is fucking vaudeville. Like that is old shtick.
Let's just say that blackface was normal when that type of act was popular. That's how old your thing is. You're not even hitting the roaring 20s. We're talking 1919.
Yeah. There weren't even separate water fountains yet because they hadn't been invented.
Yeah. Dude, this was the oldest just and the fact that it was like the fact that for whatever reason, look, killing is killing. The fact that he was killing with the staff is also somehow both impressive and more embarrassing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because now she is not just his hostage, but everyone's.
Imagine you're in a hostage situation and some of the people, you're talking to the negotiator and then some of the people are like, we like it in here.
Give us a gun. I'm joining. Like, yeah. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. And I mean, I guess good for him because you said he was really content. Seemed really.
I mean, this is what I think is actually happening. I feel like one, this dude lives within his means, which is why he's not really pressed for money. And then two, I think that he's so bad that it's entertaining that he gets work. I can see that happening. Because here's the thing. If this dude went on America's Got Talent, I think he'd take it all the way. I think it would be so funny that they would actually give him the golden star. They hit that golden button. They put him through the next round. He shows up and you're like, man, this guy's like a really funny comedy act who did like a fake ventriloquism for his first thing. And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Then he starts again and it's worse. It's worse the first time. But you're laughing so hard now because you're like, I can't believe anybody would do this act again. That's hilarious.
How he wasted his golden star on this.
And then, but then even that's funny. And so then it's so funny that he just keeps getting promoted to the next round, and by then he's an American sweetheart. Like by then he's just like, it's like people love how bad he is at this thing, and then there's just a Vegas show at the end of it where you go to watch this dude talk for an hour and be like, what river is completely full of what river?
I can't wait to see where this joke ends.
What river is completely full of what river is completely full of direct intention? The Pacific Ocean. And then you just sit there.
Jesus Christ.
And then you just sit there and you're like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
First off, not a river. You said ocean. And then next season, suddenly he's a judge on America's Got Talent. You're like, how did he?
How did he get to be a judge? And then you sing your heart out, and he's like, I wasn't really feeling it.
You can't really understand the notes he's given. Everyone just kind of looks at him. I think that's a vote for yes.
Imagine how demoralizing it would be to be a comic going on America's Got Talent, and then a dummy's hand gives you the thumbs down. I don't think you just quit comedy. I think you actively go on a killing spree. Like, I think that's enough to break a human's mind.
Yeah.
So much so that they're like, I want nothing to do with society. I want nothing to do with anyone here.
A dummy told me I failed. I couldn't understand what he said. Terry Crews was there. I don't know. Reality exploded on me.
Terry Crews had to sit me down and tell me that even though I should have been able to understand it off the rip, the dummy said that I'm talentless and I have no future.
Holy shit. Oh, that's just beautiful. I don't know. It's chaos. What happened to your friend is horrible.
Yeah.
But just
great person, but yeah, terrible luck.
In a weird way, in an indirect way, he did make art. Because that moment, that moment is beautiful.
Sure enough, absolutely.
Holy shit.
I felt so dumb. I didn't realize a service dog and an emotional support dog were two different things. I knew they were different because the names are different, but I didn't realize in which ways they were different. A service dog is trained. That's a trained animal to take care of the person that has the need that they help with. An emotional support dog is just a dog you feel a connection to that you just get to emotionally support. The dog doesn't have a choice, really. The dog is... You just roll up on a dog one day and you're like, I'm going to tell you everything. That's... Wow, I did not know. Had no idea. And I bring it up because my friend, she got an emotional support dog for her husband without knowing that this dog was an emotional wreck. I don't know what's wrong with the dog. They bring the dog home. Something wrong with the dog throat, okay? I don't know what it is, but it can't bark right. So it doesn't bark, it just screams, okay? And not like a yelp. This isn't sad. This is worse than that. It just screams human screams, okay? So the dog, I was on the phone with her, heard the dog in the background, and the dog was like, oh! That's just all the time. That's all day what the dog does. Nonstop. It's crazy. The dog has bad nerves, and so it screams all the time. Everything sets it off. You pet the dog, it'll scream, and then it'll let you pet it, right? Because you snuck up on it to pet it. So you pet it, you're like, oh. It's terrible. Dog's a light sleeper, too. So the dog will be taking naps, the most Instagrammable naps you've ever seen. Just like belly up, paws down, everything. And it'll still be snoring little puppy snores, too, like, oh. That's how it wakes up every day. And so she's like, my life is hell. This is terrible because I got the dog as an emotional support dog for my husband, not knowing that the dog is anxious and my husband's anxious. So the dog is emotionally supporting the husband just in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? Because then the husband is like, I don't feel so good. And the dog's like, yeah, you're right. It's a lot to be worried about, dog. It's crazy out here. What's that over there? Huh? Like, that's what it's doing all the time. She can't get any sleep because the dog sleeps with them. So the dog sleeps in between. It's actually adorable. It's like very like home living. Her right here, dog over here, husband over here. But they live in like a noisy apartment, paper thin walls, so you can hear the door slam from down the hall, right? And so the dog waking up all night. So somebody will slam the door down the hall, a door that has nothing to do with them, that is none of their business, and the dog will be like, oh! And then her husband will be like, ah! And then she will be like, ah! That's just all day. That's just going and revolving, this domino effect of screams. It got so bad, someone called the police. Police show up to her door, knock. She answers like, hey, I'm here to do like a wellness check. Neighbor said that they heard screaming. And she's like, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm okay and everything. And my husband's here. Come over here. He comes over to the door. He's like, hey, I'm good. We're all good in here. And the cop is like, oh, okay, cool. Where's that third person? Because they said specifically that there was 3 people. And then she's like, no, it's just us here. So now they look like they've murdered a person. Like now it looks like a cover-up, right? He's like, no, it's just here. Cop's writing down everything that they're saying. As the cop is writing, he dropped his pen, and the dog in the background is like, oh! And the cop sees the dog and is like, and then she's like, oh, yeah, that must have been what it was. I got the dog for my husband, but it turns out that the dog is anxious and my husband is anxious. My life is hell. I can't. Oh. Okay. Have y'all seen how much trouble Lizzo is in? This is crazy. This is genuinely wild, you know? If you don't know, like, Lizzo has a lawsuit out that's like coming at her for like all types of discrimination and body shaming and stuff like that. And it's her fans who are like genuinely hurt. Her fans are very hurt by the whole thing. She lost 150,000 followers on Instagram alone in one day when the news broke. 150,000 followers in one day. That means even bots were like, I can't endorse this. This is unacceptable. But genuinely, I think this is the thing. I think that Lizzo's fans are so hurt because she's known to them and to a lot of the world as this like true beacon of like light, loving yourself, forget haters, embrace who you are and everything. Which is why this should be a lesson to everybody in here, everyone listening to me right now. This is a lesson to all of us to never, ever become a positive influencer. Don't do it. There's too far to fall. Oh my God. I'm not even like a famous guy, but I still, in case I ever get there, tell people all the time that I can be a dick. Just to give myself some breathing room, you know what I mean? Just a little bit, you know? That way when I fall off my pedestal, I sprain my ankle instead of break my neck, you know what I mean? Because I'm human. Something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna catch me on TikTok one day, just yelling at a United Airlines gate agent. And when I get caught, even people who don't know will be like, he always told us he was a dick. Like, I kind of laid it all out there. It's tough. And I think that this is the reason that it's so tough for people. We do a thing that is not fair to us, and it's not fair to the people that we do it to, where we pull our role models, our like heroes, positive influences from people that we already like from doing other stuff. You notice that? We rarely ever make an actual activist famous. You know, there are people doing the work. There are people, whatever you care about, there are people in the world only doing that thing. But instead of finding them and lifting them up, we're like, no, after LeBron dunked, he looked in the camera and said, Black Lives Matter, bitch. So I think the cops have to stop. I think that's all we need to do, really. We can't keep doing this thing where we conflate talent for character. You know? You got to be very careful. Be very careful of the people that seek power and the people that seek fame, because they're usually the same. And then we act surprised when we see their worst sides, you know? And we only do this thing with celebrities. You never do that with a regular dude with a regular job. You know what I mean? Somebody can sing, doesn't make Martin Luther King. You know? We never do it to regular people. I've never had a plumber that was so good, I was like, he must be a good dad. Like, there's something about the way he plumbed that just spelled father figure, you know what I mean? Like, the way he be pulling it out. I go the other way now. Now when I see somebody super talented out here dancing, popping and locking and stuff, I'm like, oh, he probably beat people. Like, I can see it, yeah, because he knows the moves. He knows how to choke, you know what I'm saying? And we don't know. We don't know what happened. We can feel how we feel, but we don't know, right? But I will say, it doesn't help that Lizzo hired Cosby's lawyer. That's I don't know. We don't know, but that doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. I don't know how to describe it, but if you ever told me, you told people and you confront me and you were like, you did this thing, and I was like, I didn't do that shit. Give me the nigga that Cosby got. All right. Like I said. No. Just doesn't sit well, you know. All right. I have to go soon. Everybody's had a gun story so far, so I figure I'll tell a quick one. I was in Texas. Texas is like open carry, you know. And so I saw these two dudes. I was in Target, right? And I saw these two dudes bump into each other, and they both whipped around. And they didn't seem angry, but they were checking each other up and down. I was like, this is some like alpha male type thing is about to happen, right? And then one was like, I see you're carrying. And the guy went, I sure am. And like, I should point out real quick that this is at the self-checkout at Target. So I'm just trying to ring myself up. Like, I'm over, but he over here and he over here. So I'm gonna get shot because I'm in between, right? You can't have a standoff with somebody in the middle. No Western has ever done that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, y'all, please, we are in Target. And so then he's like, I sure am. And the other guy's like, so am I. And the guy who did this goes, oh my God, we have the same gun. Oh my God, that's so tough. They both pulled out their guns and they both had the same like camo print, everything. I was like, wow, what an adorable outing. You all were so great. Thank you so much. I'm Josh Johnson. Have a good night.
I do appreciate how all of you manage to be these like international individuals, you know? Like y'all care about things that are happening in the world, and you consume all this media that is not yours. You don't have to if you don't want to, right? Like, I know that we're right there and we're very loud about it, but if you wanted to put the Sony XM4s on, you could, you know? But y'all keep up with your politics and our politics. We don't even do that. It's pretty wild. Like, I'm sure y'all have seen Mitch McConnell freezing up. If you don't know who Mitch McConnell is, he is the leader of the Republican Party in the States. He's the full-time leader of the Republicans in the Senate, and he's a part-time mime. And I know you're wondering, you're like, how is this happening? We're wondering the same thing. How is this happening? How is this? This is crazy. He's not by himself. Biden's hella old. Trump is hella old. You know, Dianne Feinstein's hella old. We just keep letting older and older people stay in power, and we don't even really know why. I think that mainly there's something to be said for like how fearful Americans are. And so if there's anyone that can offer us any form of stability, we'll take it from them, you know? And that's what you get. You get people who serve 19 terms and everything. Came in. The fact that this man froze while they were asking if he was going to run for re-election, I think that was God answering for him. That's crazy. If you didn't see the video, basically they're like, would you be running for re-election? And then he went, huh. He looked, for a split second, he looked just like Jim from The Office. He was like... And then his aide walked up and they were like, did you hear him? It's like, hearing's not the problem, ma'am. Oh. And there are some people that are like, oh, leave him alone. He's an old man. It's like, all right, well, just because you're old doesn't... Being old isn't a virtue. He was shitty all the way up until then, so... Do you know what I mean? And look, I hope... How do I word this? I hope he's able to maintain his health as well as the first responders from 9/11 that he voted against funding are able to maintain theirs. You know, like, I think that... It's weird. It's an odd thing. It's every time he freezes, he looks like he looks like he's seeing. It looks like he's seeing all the black people he ever tried to stop from voting. Like, it's like they're just in the room with him. He's like, huh. That is a lot. Now, I know you're wondering, how did this happen? How did we get here? How do we end up staying here? Because he's not the only one. I'm not even picking on Republicans, really. There's old Democrats. There's Democrats that you're like, how is this the person? Surely someone else believes what they believe and is like able. Do you know what I mean? Surely, right? And I don't think that the U.S. is just a fearful country. I think that we have this reputation. They talk about how baseball is the great American pastime, but it's not. It isn't. The great American pastime is arguing. We love to argue so much, a lot of people want to redo the Civil War. Like, that's how much we love to argue. And it's not about the candidate. There's nothing so special about McConnell. There's nothing so special about Biden or Trump that they keep being in the position that they're in. It's that we like to argue so much that we do not pay attention until it's too late, right? It doesn't matter, Biden, Trump, whatever. Throw all that stuff out there. You could put one party's candidate as a tomato and one party's candidate as a potato, and we'll still have it out. As dumb as that is, we would still be like, well, I do like potatoes, though. But we don't know. We're very unsure as a group of people, you know? You watch I'm sure it's terrifying for y'all because y'all are so close. Like this, you as Canadians must feel how I felt when I lived next door to a drug dealer. Had nothing to do with me. It was none of my business. But I don't know. You'd hear stuff through the wall. You're like, am I in danger? Like you even watch from afar the shootings that we have, the school shootings that we have. It's genuinely terrifying. It's terrifying for us, you know? And so many of them happen that there's no keeping up. Like just within, a week of each other, there was a shooting, there was a hate crime, and then there was a shooting at a school. And you wonder, like, how is this sustainable? Is it possible for it to be sustainable? You know? You take a country that has this much crippling student loan debt and you carpet bomb it with a bunch of school shootings. It's no wonder we don't like to read. Shit feels dangerous. That's my thing. It's like, I think it's going to change how future generations even talk about school because there's just so many. It's not this like uncommon occurrence. And like they don't all make international news because thank God not 13 kids aren't dying every time, but it's, you know, it is happening. It makes me wonder if 30 years from now, there's going to be a kid who turns to another kid. It's like, hey, him over there, he cold-blooded. Got ice in his veins. Like, what? Him? Yeah, him. What'd he do? It's like, he got a PhD. He went to school every day. He doesn't give a fuck. I've been trying to make more friends. This is the thing. When you are young and have a lot of friends, you think that you're good at making friends, but there's a chance that you're not. There's a chance that these friends are just from convenience and proximity, right? Because then when you get older, when you become an adult, you see how hard it is to make friends, you know? It's hard, whether you're trying to date someone or make a friend, it's incredibly difficult to walk up to someone and make something out of thin air. Because that's what you're doing when you're building relationships. And we're not always receptive to it, you know? We think that we're good at making friends. We think we want more friends, but sometimes it's not the day. I got too much on my mind. Or don't talk to me here. Or it's impossible to know. Huh? Like if somebody rolled up to you right now like, damn, man, I like your glasses. I like your hat. What you doing later? You'd be like, get the fuck away from me. I don't know if it's drugs you taking or drugs you need to be taking, but get away from me. I've been trying to make friends. I've been trying to make friends at the gym. Because that way I'll have a spotter, so I I won't gym alone. If you don't know what a spotter is a friend who lets you believe in yourself too much. You go to the gym together and you're like, I think I could push 300. And he's like, we'll see. So I did it. I made a friend at the gym. I was working out and I saw this guy, and he basically was on the machine that I needed. So I was sort of waiting around. And have you ever met someone? That has been to so much jail they've been to so much jail that they are from jail? Do you know what I'm saying? Like you might be from Toronto, right? You might be from Vancouver. This man was from jail, okay? And you know he was from jail because he was like working out and he was barking in between reps. Like he was like, arr, arr, arr. It's like, okay. And he noticed me sort of lurking around, waiting for him to be done on the machine. And he saw me. He was like, "You trying to get on this one?" I was like, "Oh, maybe. If that's okay with you." And he's like, "Let's take turns." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so we did. We took turns, and I did my little like, and he did his like, arr, 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 you know? And then for whatever reason, we just kept working out together. I was like, "What workout are you doing?" And he told me, and so we took turns for the rest of the time that we were at the gym, and we decided to be gym buddies. And I appreciate this about him. I really do appreciate this. That he did this, that he said this to me, you know, because we exchanged numbers and everything. And before I was about to leave, he was like, "Look, I got something to tell you." And I was like, "Oh, what is it?" And he was like, "I did a little time." Have you ever had someone tell you something that they thought was a secret? But was so painfully obvious, you had to act surprised to not feel rude. So then he said, "I'll do a little time." And I was like, "Oh, time where?" Time like abroad? And he was like, "No, the pen." And I was like, "Oh, yep, fair enough. Okay, I got you." So we decided to be workout buddies, and next time that we're supposed to meet up, I was late because I got off work late, so now I was heading there, and I'm excited to see my new friend, my new gym buddy, my new spotter. And as soon as I see him, I'm thinking he's gonna have a smile on his face too. This man is pissed, right? I walk up, he's like, "Where the fuck was you?" Okay, I already started working out. I already did chest, already did back, already did stomachs. I was like, "Do you mean abs?" And he's like, "That's what I said, nigga, stomachs." I was like, "Yep, you're right. Apples and oranges." Fair enough. So, you know, we started working out, and it occurred to me that, like, if I really want a friend, the other thing that we do that stops people from being close to us is we like have little departments and categories for every friend. And sometimes we try to keep them there. Specifically, "Oh, I want you there. This is as far as I want the friendship to go." And then we wonder why we don't have anybody close to us. Because we didn't give at least everyone the chance to maybe be that close person to us. So I was like, if I'm going to be friends with this dude, I got to be his real friend, not just a gym buddy, his real friend, right? Because this is just a personal thing. I'm not trying to put this on anybody, but I genuinely believe that if someone does a crime and they go to jail and then they get out, it should be done. They paid their debt and now it's time to move on, or else what re-ingratiates them back into society? Why change at all? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to do my best to like be his real friend. So I invited him to brunch. And Saturday comes, right? And he shows up to the brunch spot that I picked out, that I told him to come to, with the biggest brown bag I've ever seen in my entire, I didn't even know they made brown bags this big. It was a brown bag, might as well have been a garbage bag. This was crazy big, and it had a huge Tupperware of lasagna in it. And I was like, oh, why did you bring that? And he's like, it's brunch, isn't it? I was like, yep. But that's why we're here at the brunch restaurant. Like, you didn't have to bring any brunch with you because all the brunch is inside. I didn't know. And he's like, that's not what you said. I'm like, I understand. I didn't tell you not to bring anything. That's my bad. I didn't realize I needed to say, don't bring, all the brunch will be inside when we get there. And he's like, but it's brunch. And I was like, oh, yeah, you keep saying that, and I don't know what you mean. He's like, it's brunch. I brought my lunch. I was like, oh, this dude went to jail before brunch was invented. Okay. Cool. But my man loves $13 mimosas. I know because I was paying. After he finished one, he's like, let's get another one. I was like, well, let's implies both, but yeah, whatever. Okay. But it's great. It's a great friendship to have because honestly, this dude, I can't say this like as a blanket statement, but I will say, if it's possible, you know, one of the things I think that makes society better and would help in re-ingratiating these people back into society is if everybody had a friend who had been to jail. Because I will say this, a friend who's been to jail knows exactly when to leave a party. I went to a party this dude invited me to. I'm there for 12 minutes. And he's like, we need to get out of here. And I was like, oh, okay. And the next day I saw that party on the news. I was like, wow, he could smell it coming. There was one day I went to visit my grandma, and there was like a big old like living room type area where people be watching TV or just chatting or reading a book or whatever. And there was, do y'all remember the commercials for like a Rascal? If you don't know what a Rascal was, it was some direct-to-consumer marketing that was going on TV where you were old and you were in your little chair, but they made it feel like a motorcycle. They made you feel like you could really hit that throttle on them, right? And then you could go off-road with the Rascal too. Like you could just be going over tree trunks and stuff like that without tipping and stuff. And so there was a guy who looked like he had a new Rascal, right? And it wasn't going fast for us. Like if you could walk, it wasn't going fast. But if you were in a wheelchair and you hit that throttle, you zooming, right? And so you could tell he couldn't really handle it because his head was back while he was. So my man's head was like all the way back. Like he really couldn't look up, and which is crazy because I swear he was going this fast. Like, but my man is like, ah, right? It was incredible. My man is just, you know, and I'm sure in his mind, you know, because everything slows down a little bit as you get older, and now you go in walking speed again, and you haven't been walking for a while. So now all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is what I did when I was back in my 80s, right? So, because I don't know how old he was, but he was dusty, right? You know what I'm talking about. Don't do that. I'm not being mean. It's just at a certain age, no matter who you are, at a certain age, once you hit those like 90, like once you get up in the 9 in the front of the number for your age, there's just a level of like, there's a level of ashy that is time. Y'all want to act like y'all know what I'm talking about, but y'all know that sometimes people get flaky. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Anyway, so my man is zooming, right? He like and then on the other side of this corner leading to the living room is this other guy who's like in a proper wheelchair, but it has like some little modifications. So I guess it's not a traditional wheelchair. Like he's not fully pushing it himself, but it looks like it has like some little levers on it. I don't know what it was, but it felt like a knockoff Rascal. Like it felt, you know what I mean? Like it felt like somebody sold him some damaged goods where they were like, no, it's a Rascal. He's like, I don't see the throttle anywhere. Just keep looking. It's a Rascal. And so he's going like really, really slow. And as they're getting closer, you know those math problems? You know those math problems where like if a train, you know what I'm talking about, right? If a train leaves Detroit at 5, going 60 miles per hour, and then a train leaves Louisiana going 80 miles per hour at 7 o'clock, when will they crash? Because then even in school, they'd be like, when will it crash? I'd be like, this is a dark. Why can't it just be a delivery or something? You wrote the textbook and you put in crash. Now I gotta figure out when everybody's gonna die. I'm not even allowed to warn them in this scenario. But anyway, basically this dude has like, he's kind of turning the wheel, but it looks like it's assisted somehow. And the other guy's zooming. And then I'm standing at the corner and I'm like, who do I try to warn? Because in my head for a second, I was like, they're going to miss each other because this guy's going way too fast. And then I realized that he going fast for him. He going walking speed for us. And then this other guy is going nowhere. Like very, very slow, right? And then I'm not proud of it, but it took me so long to make a decision because I was bad at math. It took me so long to make a decision that they did collide when they both got past the corner. The fast one hit the slow one, and he tipped. And he didn't tip. This is the worst part, actually. So he didn't tip, like his chair didn't tip, right? He just tipped from getting hit. And then he fell the rest of the way out. But while he was falling, he was hanging on. Like while he was falling, he was like, no! So he's screaming no, like he don't want to fall. And to be honest, I had time to get to him, but I was so shocked that this was happening. And so then he kept falling to the point where one foot was on the ground now. I was like, ooh, you could stand up. There's still time to stand up. But then he had tipped like booty over knee, and then he was hanging, and then the chair was tipping to a point where I was like, the chair gonna fall on you. And then he just sort of let himself spill, but his butt was already on the ground, but he was still screaming like he was in the air. And then he finally let go of the little handle that was at the front, and then he laid back. And I was like, I probably could have done something. Because to be fair, it was going to happen whether I was watching or not. That moment had nothing to do with me. I was just a witness. And that's how I felt about the debate last night. Because whether you watched it or you didn't watch it, okay, I watched the whole thing. I watched it top to bottom, and
Okay. Everything happened that we, figured might happen. But this is the thing that I guess I can't get over. It happened so quickly. We were worried that like maybe an hour in, Biden might have like a senior moment or something. But he said, no, I'm gonna start slow and I'm gonna ratchet up. Because early, maybe second question, maybe first question, I can't remember. But he said something. And he was kind of trying to get through it. And when he was trying to get through it, he started looking down while he was trying to get through it. And then he stopped talking. I don't know if there's been a deeper silence in my life than when that man stopped talking. It was still his turn. He had stopped saying anything. And while he was not talking, I was talking. Like while he had been like, right? Like once he got here, when he was looking down, I was like, fall. Just fall. You'll clear this whole thing out if you fall right now. This man has had the nerve to fall every day, except that day there. I'm yelling at the screen, fall! If that man had fallen, we'd be having a different conversation right now, right? If he had fallen, they would have scooped him up on a stretcher. It would have been like, look, the president had a great answer ready, but gravity is a Republican, so the odds were stacked against him. He's brave for even showing up against that red Republican elephant ass gravity. Oh, it was insane. I felt like I was going crazy because this is the thing that's infuriating, right? And I'll probably come back to it in a second, but the thing that I cannot get out of my head is that we all knew, and everything that happened is what we said would happen, and now pundits are talking to us on TV, on like legacy media, talking about what happened the way that we talk about what was gonna happen before it happened, and they want to convince us that they're worth watching. You ever tell somebody a story and then time passes and then one day they try to tell you your story like you didn't tell them the story, and you look at them like either you crazy or you think I'm crazy because I told you that. You're not bringing me any new information. That's what it feels like. It's like after the debate, I watched the after debate. And they were like, he is older. These are the same people, by the way, who have been like, no, we have to chase him around the White House. We can barely keep up with them. And I knew they were lying then. Because that's the thing. It's like he did so poorly. It fully distracts from the fact that Trump didn't do well either. But you know how, okay. One time, I was with some friends, and we were headed to a party. We get there, and there's like two more friends that we're waiting on, and one of them is supposed to bring all the drinks, right? And one of my friends had already poured out a beer, was drinking his beer. And when we were stepping outside, because it was like it was like an outdoor in front of the house sort of event. We're all on the lawn and everything. We see one of our friends who was supposed to bring the drinks, right, crash right into a light pole, right? And right when he crashed into the light pole, we all screamed, and a couple people ran over there. And then my friend who had poured the beer was like, oh my God,
I dropped my drink, right? On its own, not good. In reference to something much bigger happening, nobody ended up caring, right? And that's how it felt. Like, it's insane. Like we are not crazy. We're not crazy. They're crazy. You know what I mean? We're not crazy. They're crazy. We said it already. They're crazy. They just don't listen. They don't listen. How do you not listen when it's everybody saying it? You know? Like, there was one time in particular where Biden was struggling to say something. And even Trump, even Donald Jail Trump, looked at Biden, and you could see it on his face. He was like, is this motherfucker all right? And you can tell because I'd never seen this on Trump's face ever. Trump had an actual eyebrow arc of concern. I've never seen him have that ever. He's never looked as phased to me as when he was looking at Biden next to him going, is it? Like, it wasn't an act. Trump was genuinely wincing, which concerns me because he was the closest to him, which means something worse was going on in person close to him than what we even saw. We think we up close because the camera's zooming in. No, Trump hears him fighting to breathe. It felt so terrible. It felt like when you're a kid, when you're a little kid, and you get into it with another little kid, and they're bullying you, right? And you tell that kid, my dad could beat your dad. And then maybe you go home, and maybe you go home with a shiner, maybe you go home with some cuts and bruises, and your dad asks what happened. And you're like, hey, this kid's been bullying me, right? And I tried to tell my teacher, and she didn't do anything. And so your dad's like, okay, I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna go to school tomorrow, we're gonna sort this out. And maybe he goes to pick you up and settle things up with the teacher right when the bully's dad comes and tries to settle things up with the teacher too, because his kid told him a different story, you know? His kid told him, hey, this kid's school is being a bitch, so I had to hold him down and everything. And the teacher is like, look, everyone's here, maybe we can mediate. And so they do that thing that schools do where they don't really know how to help. You know what I mean? They're just like, if you could stop, that'd be great. Or not, I didn't see it, so whatever. But don't fight, because we have a zero tolerance policy on violence. So even if you fight back, you're gonna get expelled, you know what I mean? So then, now it's just you and this kid that you know bullies you. And then him and his dad teaching him his ways, and your dad teaching you his ways, and now they're outside, you know? And maybe your dad tries to have a heart-to-heart with the other dad, because both two dads of kids. And so he says to him, he's like, hey, look, can you... It was 1969. And then the bully dad goes, is this motherfucker all right? Like, it felt crazy. Because we knew. And we didn't know this exact thing would happen, but we knew we didn't feel good, and we knew we didn't feel good for months. You know what I mean? Before there was ever a debate. When we just knew it was going to be an election, we didn't feel good. That should tell everyone something. Not feeling good about an election that isn't even going to happen for another year, because we knew who the contenders were early on, right? Some people tried to run the Republican Party and they got washed, right? But we knew it was going to be Trump, and we knew it was going to be Biden for a very long time, and we didn't feel good since last year. And no one took that to heart, Republican or Democrat. People did not feel good, right? You ever get cold feet a year before the wedding? Because if so, maybe you shouldn't do it, you know? Maybe they're not the one. We're not crazy, they're crazy. You understand that, right? Like, it's not us. It's not us at all. Because, you know, we have eyes and ears and we use them or whatever. And that's the other thing that really stuck out to me, is that, you know, no one really talks about Trump's performance because of Biden's, but Trump didn't do that well. There was a lot of like open lying to the point where where do you do in that situation? Like, everyone was kind of trashing the moderators for not doing some live fact checking in the moment. Sure, but what do you do when somebody lies that much, and how they lied, right? Because this is the thing. We found out last night that the tactics work. Trump lies fast. He talks so fast that when you hear the lie, you're like, but he didn't stutter, so it sounded kind of true. Like, I know it's not right because I was there. Because that's the other thing. He'll be lying about stuff that we were here. Like, we all remember him being president. We were here. So don't tell me it was different. I was then. And Biden, I'm assuming, is trying to tell the truth. He's saying something. But we found it that, like, you know, a fast lie beats an unintelligible truth. It does. Even in your personal lives, it does. Let's say you out with friends, right? Out with friends, and then let's say, you know, you've been bad. You've been terrible even. You did a little cheating, right? And then you get caught. And now they're holding the cell phone in front of you and they're like, who is this, right? And then you say, who is it? How am I supposed to know everybody that's in my phone? Do you know everybody that's in your phone? That's crazy. People got contacts in their phone all the time they don't remember. Sometimes I go through my phone and I look at my contacts and I'm like, who are these people? Who are any of these people? It's a lie that almost sounds kind of fairly true. Like, do you remember every contact in your phone all the time? No. Or let's say you were out and somebody tried to get you to be bad. They tried to get you. Try to get you to do some cheating. And you were like, no, I don't want to cheat. No, I love them. Get away from me, right? But later, let's say later, unbeknownst to you, one of your friends thinking they're doing you a favor or maybe playing around or playing too much, right? They hand your phone to that person and that person puts their number in your phone, right? So now when your partner is holding the phone up to you, who is this in your phone? What's this number? And you try to tell the truth and you go, ah. I was like, oh. Because before, in 1969, No? Because what do we do now? What's the plan? You know what I mean? What's the plan? Are we just gonna move on like nothing happened? Or are we gonna just hope for the best? What's really the plan? Because we're acting as if there aren't other people that can run. And we're acting that way because of the circular thinking. Because look, legacy media, sometimes I trash them. People in the DNC, sometimes I trash them. But the thing that they weren't wrong about is the reasoning that lets you land where you were before. It's not lazy. It's not out of not caring. It's out of not having a belief and knowing your options. That's what happens. And it happened to both parties, by the way, right? It happened in both scenarios where there were people in the national conventions of these parties not really sure where to go from here. And so you go with what worked last time, even if it's not going to work this time, you know? And I think it's tough. It's tough when you have something like that, right? Something where unequivocally we can all look at it and be like, yes, the man is old and maybe it wasn't his night, but this looks very bad and it does not inspire confidence in us. It doesn't inspire confidence in the people that we want to vote for this man, if nothing else, so the other man can't win, or because we really believe in the policies and the actions of this man, right? It doesn't help. And then you have people who are those could-be contenders, right? Because there's a conspiracy theory that I'd like to believe. And I'll share it with you, but I have no evidence for what I'm saying. There's a conspiracy that they wanted this debate. People in the DNC want this debate to be before the convention so that if he didn't perform well, there'd be time to rally behind someone else and replace him. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it looks like a setup. It looked like... looks like a setup if I ever seen one. Like, you know? Because the idea that he was at Camp David prepping for this debate for a week and that they actually made him prep, because he was hoarse. Why is this man hoarse? It's because they had him really talking like he was going to be out there dunking on Trump instead of just giving him a week-long nap. Let that man rest. Y'all worked him so hard he showed up with a cold. Set him up to fail, right? Because who else could it be, you know? Some people say Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's a tough one, though, because then right after the debate, Gavin Newsom goes up there and does a full-on Ron DeSantis. Because remember when Ron DeSantis was running against Trump, he just didn't want to say Trump's name yet. He was like, I'm not running yet or whatever. And then it finally got time for them to run and he announced. And then he had a little bit of momentum, but then he had to go toe-to-toe with Trump and he didn't know how to do it. So he got aired out in front of everybody, right? I think Gavin Newsom had similar ideas. He was like, look, I'm going to support the president this time. I'm going to be in everybody's good graces. I'll run in 2028, right? But if there's ever a time, it's now. And it doesn't help when he goes on TV right after the debate and tries to negate everything that we just saw, because it makes me trust him less. You know what I mean? When they're asking him, how do you feel about his performance? I mean, he's like, oh, come on, everyone has an off night. That's happened to everybody. I've been alive for a while. That has not happened to me. You know? Or you get Gretchen Whitmer. Gretchen. You know what I like about Gretchen Whitmer? Gretchen Whitmer would be good because Gretchen Whitmer, they already tried to kidnap her. So they already tried to kidnap her, so that already right there is like that's a die of January 6th right there. So she has some experience, like when they come, you know what I mean? I was reading the news and I saw this Mark Robinson. If y'all don't know who that is, he's a lieutenant governor of North Carolina, and he's
running for governor of North Carolina as a GOP candidate, and a bunch of news came out where basically there are these profiles that they found of him from a long time ago being on porn sites saying the craziest stuff you can imagine, right? And this is my thing. First of all, this is a terrifying and dangerous man, and I know that because he leaves comments on the message boards of porn sites. What? A porn site is simple, okay? You get in and you get out. You don't stay to chat. What's wrong with you? You're not here to make friends. You are out of your mind. Why are you just on here being with? That's weird as hell. No one I've ever met has been like, oh, well, I can't wait to log on and talk. That's a real sick man right there. That's crazy. And just so you know, Mark Robinson has been endorsed by Trump. Trump would stump with him and stuff like that, and he's been at Trump rallies and stuff. And then, Mark Robinson's a very big man. He's huge. He's a large guy. And Trump called Mark Robinson Martin Luther King on steroids, because I don't think he understands how steroids work. They don't just make you bigger in general. They don't balloon you. You got to work out a little bit. You got to do something. Mark Robinson is over here being I think, I don't know what opinions he truly holds. I don't, because, politicians lie and they pretend to be who they think you want them to be. But it seems like he's trying to appeal to the most radical version of a conservative, right? And he has his little taglines, and he gets in with phrases. I think that's why Trump likens him to Martin Luther King, because he tries to put on an MLK-esque voice when he speaks and everything, but he says stuff that he sure his base wants to hear. And he said really horrific stuff about gay people, about trans people and everything. And they uncovered all of these things that he had said on the message boards of these porn sites because his username sometimes was his name. Fellas, I understand that sometimes we're in the heat of the moment and you go to one of these illicit sites, and the site asks you questions. Maybe the site, in order to enter, they want an email or something, or as eager as you are, please do not give them your actual information. This goes out to everybody. I don't care what you believe in, who you're voting for. Please do not give a porn site your real name and email address you use for work. I know it's the first email address that comes to mind when you've got other things on the mind, but make up an email address real quick. I know that sometimes that takes a second, because then you got to make a fake Google account. You got to go back. You got to accept the email from the porn site and then just look. But make it so they don't know it's you every time. It shouldn't be that hard, but apparently it is, because then CNN and the journalists on CNN, I don't remember if they're actually CNN affiliates, but basically the journalists that looked into it found that on lots of porn sites he was using the same username, the same handles, which turn out to be the same usernames and the same handles he used on Twitter and fellas, even if it means coming up with a fake name right now,
just come up with something to say in your mind. The fact that he was using his email all the time, but it makes sense. I guess he would use his email because he was using his name and he was commenting and all that. So he probably wanted to get the feedback from what people were saying to what he was saying. Now that I think about it, maybe it was more intentional than dumb. But he said insane things. This dude, first of all, on a porn site, no one is looking for feedback, really. Do you know what I mean? Maybe there's some. Maybe some crowd-funded, crowd-sourced. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm sure. Look, I haven't been on OnlyFans, but I'm sure with an OnlyFans, there are people that are like, I made this thing. I hope people like it. Let me get some feedback. This is what they like. This is what they don't like. That makes sense, right? But if you're just out in the world watching whatever comes up, and then you're just commenting all the time, you need a friend. This dude said such insane things. Some of them I can't repeat, but a couple of them I will. This dude said, unprovoked, I'm a black Nazi. I don't know where you begin with I'm a black Nazi from a black dude who should have probably left the porn site by now. He said other stuff. He was like, I would rather Hitler in office than the people that are in there now. I'm more confused than angry. I'm not gonna lie. And then he said stuff about how, like, my man, slavery wasn't that bad. I wish they would bring back slavery. I'd buy a couple. Mind you, this is on a porn site. What wires do you have crossed in your head? Does being horny make you angry? What? In what world does that come up? It's very specific. In what world are you on a porn site and then you're like, you know what really needs to be fixed? The Senate. Bruh. What? I do my best. I really do. I do my best to try to understand people, and I don't get this one. This is beyond me. Because even outside of what he said on the sites, it's also some of the things that make him unfit for office are just what he says out in the open. The way that he talks about people who are definitely his constituents. There are gay people in North Carolina. There are trans people in North Carolina. So when he speaks, he's speaking about them and sometimes to them. And he says very sick, hateful things, And just the way that he has this weird, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I try to love everybody, but it's very hard to love a black man that hates being a black man. It is jarring. You don't even know where to start. And the thing that I think maybe he thinks is that his proximity to whiteness and what the white people around him like will be his safety. And it's not going to be the case. Fundamentally, it won't. Because when you say things like slavery wasn't that bad, I wish they would bring back slavery, I'd buy a couple. Who do you think? It's hard to get to the bottom of what this person is thinking because it's so crazy, It's like it's one of those things where you look at state of politics, and it's one thing to lie, and it's one thing to say what you think people want to hear, but it's another thing to be an absolute lunatic and already in office, because he's already lieutenant governor. So governor is not that far of a stretch. And he got to be lieutenant governor saying mostly what he says now, minus the porn stuff. And it's so bad that Donald Trump himself, the dude who would stump with them, this is Martin Luther King on steroids. He doesn't know what steroids are. This is Martin Luther King on steroids. Donald Trump's campaign is even telling him, hey, you may need to drop out. If Donald Trump's campaign Donald J. Trump's campaign is telling you to drop out, you should probably leave Earth. The idea that Donald Trump's campaign is like, this guy, ugh. The fact that Trump distanced himself from Mark Robinson, Trump doesn't distance himself from Nazis. The fact that he was like, oof, this is pretty weird, right? You know? Like, Trump didn't denounce the Proud Boys openly. They asked him about the Proud, and he was like, you know, boys will be boys, I guess, or whatever. But you, no. And that's exactly what I mean. Your proximity to whiteness won't save you. You're actually saying and doing some of the same things that the people say and do that Trump didn't distance himself from. But he's getting as far away as he can from your black ass. He's getting so far away from you, you would think he was on steroids. I think a lot about how we think about each other and we treat each other, especially now with like an election on us, you know. Everybody's exhausted. Why do we even do it this way? You know, in like France, they're like 3 months out. They're like, who should we pick? Like we're the only ones that make it a season and a half of TV. Like no one else in the world does this. No one else in the world is like, all right, 2024, let's start talking about 2028. Why do we do it this way? And then you watch people. You watch how they react to people, you know. Like, I have a tougher time than I've ever had with the things that are being said, you know? Everybody expects politicians to lie. Everybody expects politicians to not care about them. I get that. But what's happening right now is, like, truly insane. You know, J.D. Vance was at a rally, and it's weird. Okay, I've just never seen somebody with less charisma. Like, J.D. Vance makes Ron DeSantis look like Ron White. Like, it's... Because when Ron DeSantis was running, I was like, why he's smiling like that? He was just, do you remember his smile? He's right. He's like, it's like it hurt him to talk to people, person to person. Then J.D. Vance got in there and nobody was happy. And J.D. Vance said, you know, they asked him about how he felt about the whole rumor about the dogs and cats things affecting the Haitian community, why they've been zeroing in on Haitians specifically in Springfield for some reason. You know, he's from Ohio and everything like that. And he basically said, like, and you can look this up for yourself if you think I'm being unfair, but he basically said that, you know, this is a Democrat talking point and a point by the media and everything, as if he didn't say it. And then he basically says, you know, everyone loves talking about those Haitians in the community like they came here legally and are doing everything legally, but they were brought in and they were legalized through a process by Kamala Harris that is unconstitutional. So as long as they're here, I'm going to call them illegal aliens. He's talking about the people who did the right thing, by the way. You'll still be illegal. You'll never not be illegal, in my view. That's wild. You can't do that. You just can't, because the law is supposed to be the law. You're supposed to be the party of law and order. You can't just be like, nuh-uh, that's not... It's not how the law is supposed to work, you know? And look, I think that one of the reasons we get pitted against each other really, really hard is because America makes a promise, and it makes a promise to everybody that they will have it better tomorrow. And a better tomorrow isn't coming for everybody because of systems in place to keep tomorrow like today. So when I see Donald Trump at a rally and he says they're coming from Africa, they're coming from the Middle East, some of them are coming from Asia. These people are coming to our country, they're poisoning the blood of our country, and we have to get them out. I don't just think about people of color. I do think for a second about white people from the past, right? Because white wasn't always this like singular identity. There was a time in America where if you were Irish, you were spit on. Where if you were Italian, you were beat. And everything that Trump says about them is what they said about all those people in the background, right? About their great-grandparents. So they may cheer it on, but recognize if you have Italian descent, if you have Irish descent, if you're Greek, there was a time where you were not welcome here. And they said that your very presence and the presence of your children would destroy the country, would poison the blood. And then we became the most powerful country in the world. So clearly it's a lie. It's so clearly a lie. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying this as if I'm like, oh, you know, don't even have a program, open borders, just let everybody come in, spill it. The thing that they are painting, sometimes it's not even what's happening in the area. And look, I'm going to tell you right now that I think that there should be a fair and legal and simple process for becoming a citizen. Do you know what I mean? And I think that having a process is not un-American. Having a process is not cruel, right? But there has to be a process. But then when that process is adhered to, you can't just be like, no, that's unmanageable. You know, that's wild to me. You know, I have friends who, one of my good friends is Italian, first generation Italian, and he's a bit older, and he tells me stories of what it was like for his family, right? And so much of it was based around fear. These Italians are coming over here and they're going to ruin everything with their good food. You know? And they were called criminals. There was an assumption that everybody, no matter who you were, in the Italian community was in the mob and you were dangerous and people should stay away from you, you know? It's everything. It's every single thing that's happening now. I'm not saying that there's no possibility of having an immigration problem. I'm not saying that it's not something that needs to be addressed. I'm saying the rhetoric that you use when you talk about people is important. No matter what you do when you build policy, you know? Because I would like the people who are hardworking, the people who are honest, the people who genuinely love America to be in America, you know? Because the same things that they do to immigrants now is what they did back in the day, you know? Maybe you were Irish and maybe an Irish person in your community committed a crime. And now it's a crime on all of you. Not just one of you did it, y'all all did it. Every single one of you, and we're going to make you feel like you did it. We're going to put up signs. Right? And if you're Irish, you know what those signs said. You know what I mean? So where did that get us? And where are we now? You know, because we didn't send those Irish people back. We didn't send those Italian people back. You know, we found a way to make things work, and you build on a process and you improve it. I'm not saying there's not a process that doesn't need to be improved. I really am not. I'm saying that the way that you talk about people is important. Outside of anything else, whether they share some land with you or not. You know, and the same things that are happening now are what happened back then, you know? I'm scared of having a political process that's it's untenable.
I can't tell the story is hilarious or heartbreaking. I think you'll decide. There's a pastor in Colorado that scammed his congregation out of $3.2 million. No, it's a heartwarming story. It was all for crypto. He made a coin. And he passed it off to his congregation, saying that the Lord wanted to bless them. And then they invested. And then he's now been caught and is being charged with fraud. And he pocketed 1.3 million of the 3.2 million. And so he came out and he made a video, and in the apology video, he is very honest. He's like, listen, the Lord spoke to my wife and I and said to, you know, make this coin and everything. And I even said to God, I like how he acts like God is a guy, just like, and that he's a guy that he can't get on the phone right now, but was talking wild a couple of weeks ago. And so he's like, and then look, I was even asking God, because I'm not even omniscient like God is. I'm not over here like God. And I even asked God, I was like, where's the liquidity going to come from? And honestly, if your pastor ever says liquidity to you, that should be the first sign to run. Run as fast as you can, as far away as possible. And so he's like, I even asked God, where's the liquidity gonna come from? You know, and God said, trust me. And so then I immediately told you it would be fine. That's my bad. I want you to know, out of that 1.3 million that my wife and I pocketed, 500,000 went to the IRS, which is a meaningless detail, by the way. Like, yes, you paid your taxes, but that's just a weird thing that the pastor did to be like, hey, look, while we're being honest, I got fucked too, okay? IRS really get everybody, don't they? It's like, as much as we hate the IRS, you're not gonna flip this around on them right now. And then he got caught and he's like, you know, yes, we did spend it on some trips and a home renovation that the Lord told us to do. And I'm starting to think that Lord is just some guy's last name to him. Just a Marcus Lord that does a lot of cocaine. It's like, I got a new coin. You should tell your peeps, you should get them in on it. Oh. Because I've read a good portion of the Bible. And I don't know. No, like, I'm not saying I'm smarter than everyone that was in the congregation. I'm expressly not saying that. Like, but it is a thing where it's like, if you read the Bible, what he's saying will be weird. You know what I mean? Like, if you read the Bible and you have a general understanding of it, when a guy comes to you and he's like, listen, the Lord about them gains, okay? I think it makes it easier for you to be like, oh, I think this guy is full of shit. Thank you. But that's a scary thing, though, is that like there's a blurred line now, blurred almost to the point of being indistinguishable between like pastors and influencers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
Like a pastor used to be, at least where I come from, a pastor used to at least be poor. You know what I mean? When a pastor is poor, they're very easy to believe. Because you see how poor they are, and they're like, oh, you really about that life. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like a poor pastor is like it's like a gang member that has been shot a few times, where you can see the lumps. And you're like, oh, you're really dangerous, okay. A pastor that's poor makes a more convincing argument. Because even when you try to check their work, you're like, if nothing else, even if they are absolutely out of their mind, they at least believe this because they're willing to dedicate their whole life to, and to it exactly, to it only, right? To whatever mission they feel like God has led them to. They're willing to focus solely on that to the point of being completely removed from the world, right? So any worldly thing doesn't affect them. They have no interest in it. They're only focused on whatever the thing is. Maybe it's helping people. Maybe it's spreading the word. Maybe it's knocking on doors at 6 a.m. or whatever they feel led to do. And then a rich pastor tells, like a rich pastor has a more alluring argument. Because a rich pastor rolls up in a Rolls Royce in a $10,000 suit with a $200,000 watch and a pinky ring. Like, the amount of pastors dressing like pimps needs to be talked about. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's too many wires crossing with, like, I'll see a pastor dressed like fully like Don Bishop Juan, and I'll be like, oh yes, you are pimping your congregation. Yes, I get it. Wow. And in their faces too, you're brazen with it because you dress rich in front of them and they're poor to make you rich. And wow, that is ballsy. Maybe you do have God's protection. That's crazy that you're going to do that in their face. And then you tell them what you buy. If you see these televangelists, they tell the people what they bought with the money that they said was going to missions and to, because when the plate is getting passed around, it's so that we can help the poor and that we can spread the word and that we can, sort of build up the church to have things for you as a community. One of the only reasons to have church is for a community. It doesn't even have to be fully like-minded people. It could just be people that you feel like safe and in communion with. And so, yes, sometimes everybody pulls their money together and then they're like, what would be great is a rec center for the kids. And then a church will put all their money into building a building that could be a rec center for the kids so that they don't get in trouble. There are lots of things and ways that churches spend money that I do think are good. And so when I see like a mega church's facilities, I'm not immediately skeptical. It's when I see the person and he's dressed so much like a pimp. Like, I cannot stress this enough. It is full pimp outfit. Like, it's to the point of tacky. Like, we're not even talking about just because he has a suit. I'm talking about he has like, they are all stopping short of a cane. Like, they're millionaires in your face, and they're telling you, I have all this stuff because, because God blessed me with this jet. I purchased this jet for the Lord so I could fly from place to place quicker, spreading the message. And I would even believe that if we didn't have Zoom. If Zoom was not a thing, I would get a pastor being like, I have to get over there to spread the word as quickly as possible. They don't know. They have no idea. And it's not like we can send them a telegram or something. It's not like there's been iterations of communication for decades that would negate me buying a jet to fly it to, I'm not going to tell you where. Like, how did we get here? And look, it is probably, it's probably an easy thing to have happen. It is. It's probably, I think that I'm trying to be gracious for a second. I really am. I'm trying to extend an olive branch for a second and just, no, just hear me out. I do think that there's something that speaks to these pastors, but I think what has happened is that they have mistaken God for their intrusive thoughts. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know all of you, I don't know, exactly what your lives are like. I don't know if you grew up with religious or not, or what religion or anything. I'm just saying, as individuals, every single one of us here, if we were to lead a congregation and we were to pass around a jar or a plate, collection plate, anything like that, and everybody gave something because we made a compelling case that it is your job as a citizen of the world to help people that you may never meet, right? Is your actual duty as a living, breathing, empathetic individual that you have to do something. If someone somewhere is hurting, you don't need to know them and you don't need to know why they got there. That's none of your business. It's important to help someone. And then the plate gets passed around and you make such a compelling argument that everybody puts, $1, $5, $10, or like the Bible says, a tenth of their income to help the poor. And then church is over. Everybody leaves. And then you go to the back office where they have piled up all the money, and you do look at it and go, nigga, we rich. I mean, wow. Oh, we really cooking right now. Oh, man, I get the pinky with the soup. Oh. I'm not going to get the cane. That's too much, but oh. Just looking at a pile of money, a pile of envelopes with a tenth of someone's paycheck in order for them to either spread the word of God or help people that they will never meet, build a well, do something so it matters that we were here, right? And then you see the money and it's stacked pretty high because it's a big church. And you look at all that money and it's hard not to be like, game time? That's a tough thing. A friend said to me today, because I was telling him about the story, and he said to me that if churches did what they were supposed to do, we might not have much homelessness. You know what I mean? Like if churches were really about it, in a compelling way, in a way that was genuinely uncomfortable. In a way that was like, I'm gonna tell you a story, and you're gonna judge me, but it's fine. I was at a theater when I first moved to Chicago. And when I first moved to Chicago, I didn't have any money, right? And I especially did not have much to spare. But I was at a show, and I was at that show because it was free. So it was a free midnight show that I loved so much. I made sure to go there every Thursday night because I knew it was a free show. I could do something. I could meet other comics. I could, learn by watching them and everything, because everyone on the show was incredibly funny. It's actually a sketch show, ironically enough. And there was a person that came in, and she came in and she clearly had nothing, right? Her clothes were torn and everything. Her hair was a little messed up and she had a little bit of a limp. And she was asking people for change. And you got to remember, this is like a kind of swanky place. Like it has a little bit of that underground grunge feel to it, but it's also like a nice place with a nice bar and everything. And so everybody was like, no, 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 no. And everyone was varying degrees of like just ignoring, politely saying no, being aggressive, get out of here sort of thing. And then someone came
and they asked her to leave, right? And so I see all that happen. I'm sort of sitting in the back towards where the showroom is, and then this was all happening towards the front. She didn't get far in. I watch the show, and I'll be honest, I didn't really think about her while I was watching the show. I was thinking about what an incredible show this was, how thankful I was that it was free and everything. And then the show lets out. And I guess because a couple hours had passed, she gave it another try. So she came in, she was asking people for change. And once again, it was varying degrees of not looking at her, asking her to leave them alone and everything, politely saying no. And so then I had about like $3 in my pocket. And so I saw her the second time, and I felt so bad about how the first time went and that I didn't do anything, that I went ahead and I gave her the $3. And when I gave her the $3, she took it and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, thank you so much." And then she jumped and hugged me tight. And what should have been a sweet moment was mainly just me being like, "Oh my God, oh 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 my God, oh, 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 oh." And then she walked off, happy as could be, walked out of the venue. And then I was like, I gotta wash my hands, I gotta wash my hands, I gotta wash my hands, I gotta wash my hands. And I think that, you know, I look back at that and I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of how I reacted or anything, but that does feel like what church should feel like. Like, instead of just being boring, it should be like, oh my God. Oh, wow. Everybody really is welcome. Oh, jeez. All right, cool.
A while back, I got invited to a friend's house, and he had cooked for me and some of his other friends. And when I say cooked, I mean like he went all out. You know, it was about 6 of us all together, right? But this is like multi-course, 5 hours of preparation, been cooking all day type thing. So by the time we get there, there's a whole spread across the table. There's stuff that he's pulling out of the oven. And we were touched that our friend wanted to do this for us, right? Took his own money, used the skills that he had to make good food, to have a good experience, have a good meal with us, right? And so, you know, we sit down and we sort of like half plated already, you know, when we sit down. And as soon as we get ready to eat, I guess he didn't pay his light bill, because as soon as we get ready to leave, the lights go out, right? And when I say we were ready to eat, I'm talking about napkin in and everything, chair all brought up and stuff. And then the lights pop off, right? And then he doesn't mention it at all, right? I'm scooping my chair up and the lights go out and he don't even go, ooh, like nothing. He just, y'all, let's eat. And it is pitch black, okay? And in my head, I'm like, why? How often does this happen that you're not gonna say anything at all? Not acknowledge it one bit. And so then, like, I'm sitting in the dark and I'm looking around. I can't see anybody, but I'm looking around. You know the way you try to meet eyes when something wild happens and everything. And then after like a couple seconds, he was like, wait. I'm waiting to hear why. Maybe it's a breaker issue. Maybe it's just, you know, the block or something like that. And he's like, wait. Let's say grace. To be fair, when I say grace, I bow my head and close my eyes anyway, but it's different when the darkness is not your choice, right? There's something about saying grace in the dark that's genuinely menacing, okay? Because it's a prayer over your meal, but if it's pitch black and you hear somebody else go, Lord, please bless this food.
for the nourishment of our bodies. You're like, this one doesn't sound right. I don't like that. And it must happen a lot because not only does he not address it, but he is going with his fork and knife, and he's the only one out of us that's got any rhythm going with the plate, okay? Because he chose the right friends to do this in front of, because he doesn't mention it, so we don't want to mention it because we don't want to feel rude, you know? We out here treating broke like a country, like I wouldn't want to offend his culture, you know what I'm saying? Like, if eating in the dark is part of his customs, let's go ahead and acquiesce. And so we're all in the dark, and I could have sworn I knew how to use a fork and knife. I was positive because I've been doing it my entire life. But it's not until you're in the dark that you realize, at least me, I have no idea where my mouth is, because we already had some peas and carrots and some mashed potatoes on the plate, right? But like I said, this is all like Thanksgiving style and everything, all family style. So a lot of the dishes are in other containers on the table. So I'm just trying to start with what I have. So then I go to scoop up some mashed potatoes, and then I stab myself in the cheek, right? So and he had done a good job with the mashed potatoes because they were nice and buttery, which meant I couldn't tell if I was bleeding or not, because it was just, because I had hit it hard. I got two prongs in the mouth and 2 prongs on the cheek, but I'm like, that got me good. I need to slow down, right? Because you're not really thinking about how fast your hand is moving when you try to eat. So then I'm like, let me go ahead and attack the peas. But the peas, I can't find my spoon, right? So the peas are gonna have to go with this fork, and they are slipping. I'm imagining they're going right off the plate. And so I'm trying to stab for some peas, but everybody can hear me just clinking, just hitting plate, right? And finally I feel a little thunk. That's a carrot. So then I lift up slowly, I bite a carrot. It's hard because he didn't actually cook everything well, just the mashed potatoes. So now I'm eating bad food in the dark, right? Because every time I do get a bite of something, the food is still hot because he did a good job of plating, right? So there was a little bit of little chicken thigh that was already on the plate and stuff. So I cut that up a little bit, put the chicken in my mouth. But now I didn't realize how hot it would be because I couldn't see steam, right? So now I have burned my tongue in the moment, and I'm doing that. And I'm not the only one, because he is the only one hitting any of this with rhythm. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like his fork, you can tell his fork slicing where it's supposed to slice, that he's scooping where he's supposed to scoop and everything. And everybody else, I'm assuming, is just making noise, because there are some, I don't hear any chewing. So I feel like the person next to me was just like, because the meat was tough, right? And so then, like I said, it was like Thanksgiving family style and stuff. So then our host pops up and is like, I forgot some of the cranberry sauce. Let me go up and get it. And for as adept, okay, he gets up and all we hear is, ow. I'm back. And so I know that I'm making an attempt to eat. I'm doing my best, right? But then apparently someone else is, because from the other side of the table, I can hear someone, because once again, it's family style. I hear somebody, hey, sheepishly, hey, you don't need to whisper. It's just dark. Hey, real quick. Okay. Sorry. Can somebody pass the green beans? And so then the person who thought they had the green beans starts feeling for the container, right? So now we hear them plopping along the table and everything. And then they finally grab it, and then they from over here, who wanted it again?
And instead just saying their name, they're like, over here. So then we had to get the green beans across the table, Marco Polo style. And I could feel people passing it past me, but I didn't want to be involved, right? I didn't want to have anything to do with this whatsoever. And so then I can see, no, I can't see anything, but like I can tell that the person to my left is trying to reach for it from the person from my right. And so I'm like, I don't need to help. I just need to lean back. But because they can't see, they lean forward and just grab my face. And then they're like, is this it? I'm like, no, it's not. And so I push their hand forward. They actually grab, I'm assuming, the casserole platter. And then I think they dropped it a little bit because then I feel a hot splash, right? So I get a hot splash, boom, right on the face. And I'm just like, oh. They get the green beans over to that side of the table. Turns out it was yams, okay? So... And when you go to take what you think is going to be green beans and it's yams, it's a texture you'll never forget, right? No one was ready. And so once I get like hot splash, because it was whatever it was, it burned a little. I was ready to go, and it had been some time, you know what I mean? Like most meals only take, 15, 20 minutes to really eat until you get full anyway. And it had been however long it had been, I don't know. And so I'm ready to go, but I don't want to be the first one. So then I'm not good at it, but I try to throw my voice. A little bit like, well, this has been so great. And obviously everybody felt the same way because then as soon as I scoop my chair to get back, everybody else get ready to get up, right? And so we all start getting up and we thank him for cooking and everything. And then we feel our way for the door. And as soon as we open the door, a bunch of hallway light spills in. I'm like, why didn't we just... This was wholly unnecessary. And so I go to leave, and as I'm leaving, I pass a mirror in his lobby, which is the first look I get of my face. I haven't looked like this after I've eaten since I was a baby, all right? Because I got mashed potatoes here. I knew about those, right? But then I got a little bit of like chicken right here, just a couple of strands of chicken. And then this was gravy. So I got splashed with hot gravy coming down my face. That's why I vet people now. Like now when people offer to have me over and cook, I ask some of their friends, I'm like, hey, have you been over there before? Are they a good cook? Do the lights stay on? Things that you just need to know before you go. You know it's a really, really beautiful thing. Black women are having an incredible summer. This is phenomenal, right? Like just in the Olympics, Lauren Scruggs is the first black woman to win an individual medal in fencing. And not only do I just love seeing black people succeed, I love seeing black people succeed at stuff I didn't know we did. So if you don't know what fencing is, because I didn't know. It's basically when people cosplay Bridgerton, all right? Okay, so it's a mix of stuff. So like, when people go on a padded cell, right? They do that, but they wear the cell, okay? So they go ahead and wrap themselves in like a padded cell and stuff, and then they get that stance, right? They get that long stance, and then they got their little sword is thin, and then they sort of try to musketeers each other until one of them get the most points, right? I still haven't figured out why they always do it. To me, it would just make more sense to have it and be like, ah! Like that seems like you really get some points just
really coming at somebody, right? And I thought, as I thought about it more and as I learned more about the sport, which I still don't know very much, I thought to myself, man, I probably could have been pretty good at fencing if I had applied myself, because I grew up in the South with black grandma. So I'm used to the sound of because my grandma and I had this thing, right? Like if I was really acting up, if I was bad enough, right? She would tell me, go outside. There's a dead bush, and go ahead and pick your switch. And if you don't know what picking a switch is, if you were born after Child Protective Services, picking your switch was a form, after you've been acting up and go out there and pick your switch, it was a form of psychological torture, because you would get out there and then you trying to pick the switch most likely to break. Because you're like, all right, let me see. I'll let her get 3 good licks in, but then it'll snap and she'll be like, let bygones be bygones, right? And so you go out there, and I would go out there, I'd be testing them. I'd be like, that one got too much bend to it. Let me guess. And so then you bring your switch back to your grandma, and then she go to pop it a couple times, and just out of reflex, you start, whoo, whoo. It's hot, right? I think if my grandma had whooped me just a few more times, I really could have been a medalist in fencing. Like I could have been like. And then, Lauren is amazing, but you also have Simone Biles. The most decorated gymnast of all time. She won again today. I thought they were done. She won with the vault. A lot of people are amazed at how high, how elegantly, just the way that she moves through the air, the strength that she has, the grace in her movements and stuff like that. And some people are surprised at how high she can go and all that stuff. I'm not at all. I'm surprised that she comes back down to earth. Because I saw just a picture of her doing the vault, and when she flew, I was like, y'all, she gone. She going to space. Incredible. Like, Simone will get me so hyped up. I remember the first time I saw her. First time I ever saw her perform at all in one of her events. And I got so hyped, I tried to do a cartwheel. That's what I can't stand with people that are good at stuff. They make it look easy, and then you do it, and then you almost snap your whole spine. Because she did some routine where she was like, boom, 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 and she was just everywhere and nowhere at the same time. She was flying, she was coming down, and then she got done, and I was like, ooh, that's so cool. And then my back hit the wall. I just started sliding down. Even outside of Olympics, you got Kamala Harris. Joe Biden steps aside, Kamala takes up the mantle. She is a presidential candidate and everything. And, when she enters the race, she's actually polling slightly higher than Biden was, right? Really like giving Trump a run for his money to a certain degree. Like she's polling a little bit higher. And then in the time since, she's been polling, ticking up and everything. And there's just been so many instances of like let's say she's on camera or something. This happened a few days ago. She was walking up the stairs already. An improvement, right? She was walking up the stairs to the plane that was waiting for her, and a reporter yelled, right? A reporter was like, oh, I'm like trying to answer, get her to answer a question. And she turned, because she heard him. She turned. She turned because she heard him, right? And then he's like, have you picked a VP yet? And she went, no, not yet. And then she keeps walking up. Now, this may not be a big deal to some, but if you are a Democrat, it's a lot more multitasking than we've been used to in a long time. She can walk, she can hear, and she can talk at the same time. That's wild. I'm not saying it's new, but it's been a minute. And just when it felt like her campaign couldn't get any more momentum, Trump went to the National Association of Black Journalists. And I want to say something real quick, and I really want you to hear me when I say this, all right? For real. Please, right? Please hear me when I say this. I think that it's important, no matter who you are, because other countries are better at doing this than we are sometimes. No matter who you are, I think it's important for someone to go where most people oppose them and express their ideas. I think it's important because it's important for us to have discussions that are real. A discussion where the person who believes the thing said the thing to you and you're not hearing it secondhand from someone you already agree with. Part of why we are the way we are right now is that people don't really want to listen to someone that they are diametrically opposed to. They want to hear from someone they already like, but someone you already like tends to believe what you believe. So then we're playing telephone with each other's ideas sometimes. Right? And so I do think that it was good what he did. He went to a place where he was not gonna be lauded over, was not gonna be like babied with what he's trying to say. He went to a place where he was opposed. I think it's good what he did. He just shouldn't have done this. Do you see what I mean? You know what I mean? Because he went to the National Association of Black Journalists, and this is my thing. A lot of people didn't really talk about this, but they were opposed within the group if he should come or not. There were some people that were like, we shouldn't platform him. I can't believe y'all are even inviting him. And there were other people that said, hey, look, this is a presidential candidate. We need to hear out whatever it is he has to say because he could potentially become the president. So you had both those ideas bouncing back off of each other, bumping heads. And then you had me. I was in a very particular camp, which was let them cook. Because, this dude rolls up and pretty early on, I say first 3 minutes, this dude said she was Indian and then one day she just turned black. He said turned black. And I was like, Donnie, what else you got? That's a little while later, he hit it. He hit it. I didn't know if it would come up again. I've been waiting. He hit it. He was like, the immigrants are coming and they are taking the black jobs. I've been wondering what a black job was since the debate because he said at the debate and nobody called him on it. Nobody caught it or anything. Black jobs. And then one of the women up there, because it was 3 women interviewing him. 3 black journalists were interviewing him. And one was like, sir, what is a black job? And then he was like, a job anybody could have. You know, and look, I don't know Kamala. I don't know anybody on her campaign or anything, but I know that they had to be watching. They had to be watching that the way that we watch Powerball. Just sitting there like, say turn black again. Say turn black. Say turn black. One more time. Please, please, please. Turn black. Turn black. I'll be happy with a Negro. Can we get a Negro? Turn black or Negro, please.